Hi everyone, welcome back to Novel Nomad and welcome to Vlogmas Day 10. So I'm doing another tag today. Here's my trusty tag printer for all the questions. And today I'm going to be doing the bookshelf tag. So this is basically a tag where I get to talk about my bookshelves because I am quite proud of them. I do thoroughly enjoy just spending time staring at my bookshelves, so I thought I'll share the love with you today. I kind of had to get a weird angle for this to try and get them all in, so please excuse that I'm always constantly looking up and I'm kind of like only half in the frame, but I hope you enjoy the wider lens of my bookshelves. Otherwise, let's start with question 1. This tag was created by a wandering mind. I will leave her link down below, but question 1 is, how many bookshelves do you have? And in here I have 5 IKEA bookshelves, and in the other room I have 2. I'm not going to be showing you those in the other room, mainly because it's not good lighting. They're against the window, so it's really hard to get good lighting on them. It's usually the one where I sit in my armchair, and on my Instagram stories you'll see the books behind. They're the usual photos I take with those shelves there, usually at night time when I have good lighting there. I have done a video there in the past, but it's been a night video, and yeah. So I'm only going to be showing you my 5 lovely shelves in here because they get fabulous light and they're all white, bright and brilliant. Question 2 is, how many books are on your bookshelves, or how many do you think you have? I don't want to think about how many books are on my bookshelf, and I think the number will petrify me. But may I just say, this bookshelf here, this middle one, and the top, maybe with those top four shelves, 4.5, are filled with books that I have read. This first one at the top is a mix of other ones that I haven't read, and this one is basically predominantly unread books, but most of them I have read. I have read about 90, who's saying that? I have read about 65-70% of the books in this room. So question 3 is, how do you organize my books? And I'm going to say something quite atrocious here, but I don't have a dedicated system. I kind of have a genre-based system. So on the first section here we have my classics, so all the books that I instantly go to see what I'm going to be reading in October. And then here further down we have modern classics, so everything that was written in the early 1920s, classic wise, not crime wise, but classics, going into all my non-fiction. So I have a lot of historical textbooks and a lot of historical non-fiction. I have about 2 shelves of those, and then the rest I kind of don't have in alphabetical order. I kind of have as read. Some of the series I've kept together though, because it's just easier to find, especially when I intend to read the entire series. So obviously Elizabeth George, which you see all these lovely books here, all the books behind of hers I have read, all the ones in front I have yet to read. So I do that with my series. Most of the ones I've read I keep behind, and all the ones I keep in front, so I know what to read next in that series because I know I'll be reading that series. Otherwise I keep them all in the red sections provided they fit. This was a bit more of my decorative shelf. I have my absolute favourites on the top. I have a selection of crime books that I've read at the back that I always refer to, and then beautiful Virago green titles. Then I have all my beautiful big wonderful books you usually see in every video of mine, and that is the hardcover Harry Potter's, illustrated editions, illustrated fairy tales, and some museum books alongside some more fairy tale books and lots of ornaments as well. Going into more red books, and then further down I have books that I have yet to read, and all my beautiful grey Persephone spines. In the other room, the bookshelves are basically ones that I've kept since I was about 10. Most of those are either romance books or my fantasy series that I read when I was younger, and a lot of them are some of my classic books that I don't want to have full light on, so I don't degrade the leather or the binding. Question 4 is, what is the oldest book on your bookshelf? And that's a bit of a fun one because I do have some books from when I was a kid, but let's just go pick up the oldest by age, not by how long it's been on my shelf, book. So that illustrious title goes to this wonderful edition of Little Dorrit. It has been rebound since, but as you can see once I get a bit further in, they have made sure all the original pages are glued onto new stock, so keeping the original book in top condition all the way through. And this is the 1863 print of Little Dorrit, so it is quite old. I think it's well over 150 years old, this book. Next we have what is the shortest book on your bookshelf. I do have quite a lot of the little penguins. These are like some of the older ones that they did though. This is Oscar Wilde's The Happy Prince, like short stories. I've got quite a number of those, quite a number of the Penguin and Great Ideas as well. They all range around about 20 to 50 pages long. So I've got quite a number of those. Yeah, and I also have like a few zines as well. So zines could only be like 18 to 20 pages. So they're definitely part of my shorter collections. Question 8 is what is the predominant genre on your collection? And that is a hard one because I have 3 double shelves of classics, and then I have quite a huge substantial range of crime fiction, then I have a huge range of fantasy, and then I have a huge range of general fiction. So I would say predominantly at the moment general fiction is winning out, closely followed by fantasy and crime, and then it kind of goes into the classics and non-fiction. Question 9 is have you done a bookshelf tour? And I did when my channel was very young. I actually did it when I was building one of my bookshelves through here. It was quite a funny, more comic silent movie type one. I will link it up here and down below if you do want to check out some of my old videos and some of my very early book tours. It's not technically a tour going through each individual book, it's me shelving all the books, and it's in very much silent movie style, so hope you enjoy. Question 10 is going to random number generator and talk about the book that comes up. So give me just a moment, I will go generate a number and I'll be back with selected book. I'll be starting at the top of my classics and moving around from there, going left to right. So unfortunately it's picked one that I haven't read yet, but it's part of my non-fiction shelf, and it's Monsters, She Wrote. Let's just have a wonderful gander at that cover. It's about the women who pioneered horror and speculative fiction. Of course, this features Mary Shelley and Frankenstein. As you may or may not know, I do adore Frankenstein, and considering this talks about her, how she's influenced speculative fiction and horror, and how many female writers have been involved in that, I definitely wanted to pick this up. This came out I think around Halloween. It's by Quirk Books, so it's relatively new and I haven't read it yet, but I will be reading it part of 2020 as I want to read a little bit more of Mary Shelley. Even though I know I love Frankenstein, I want to read Dracula, Frankenstein, some of the classic horror that I haven't read yet for Victober, so I just want to get a bit more into the genre itself of speculative fiction horror. Question 11 is do you have any fan merch or other related items on your bookshelves? And yes, I do. Quite a lot. So I have a few pop vinyls, so I might do a bit of a closer up look for you after, but I have pop vinyls, I have Japanese trinkets that I bought over in Japan, I have my owls all along the top. I also have the 2 bookend lions. They're from Chatsworth House in the Lake District in England. That's where they filmed, well that's where Pride and Prejudice Pemberley is inspired from. So that's quite beautiful. I have more pottery on the shelves. Just lots of little things that make me wonderfully happy. Question 12 is show us your bookshelf. And question 13 is to tag someone in this video. Now I know a lot of people usually do book tours and things like that, so if you're not thinking of doing a book tour, I tag you. So you can just talk about your bookshelves, and instead of doing the classic book tour, it's something a bit fun, a bit different, but you still get to discuss how wonderful everyone's bookshelves are. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you tomorrow, and I hope you all have a wonderful night reading, and let me know what your favourite book shelf design is, because I couldn't quite get myself to do the color coordinated, and I couldn't quite get myself to take the series out of order. So how do you arrange your bookshelf? And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!